So, good evening again, everyone. Welcome to this second workshop where we're focusing on the cash flow strategy. And again, we're using the cash flow game developed by Robert Kiyosaki. If you missed the um, first workshop where I actually discussed the game and its objective, then you can go back and watch that first workshop. The recording I'll actually link below. Um, for this for this workshop, I'm going to be focusing on another of the strategies that I developed for winning the game. This strategy actually focuses on using cash flow. So whereas in the capital gains strategy, what the focus was on building up capital and then deploying that capital in such a way to get capital gains and then using those gains to purchase cash flowing assets. Our focus in utilizing this strategy will be on the acquisition of cash flowing assets. Okay. So as usual, we start out by choosing our dream, and we're going to also look at our starting point, which is our financial statement. So I'm going to, most of you would have already known what dream I tend to choose, which is the design of the student um, stock market game for kids or the Cancer and AIDS Research Center. So for this one, since it's already on the stock market game for kids, then that's what I'm going to be choosing as my objective for today. Um, in terms of my starting point, I am a business manager with a starting salary of $4,600 per month. I have $400 in savings, and my starting cash is therefore $400. If I want to get a better understanding of all of my assets and liabilities, then I will go over here to click on my financial statement and then see what um, that really looks like. So already we know that the income is 4,600. Our expenses include taxes of 910, a mortgage payment of $700, a car loan payment of $120, a credit card payment of $90, retail payment of 50, and other expenses amounting to $1,000. Here are all of the liabilities. We have the mortgage at 75,000, a car loan of 6,000, credit cards amounting to 3,000, and retail debt amounting to 1,000. Um, for this strategy, again, I will not be utilizing debt, and there will not be a concentrated focus on reducing my liabilities. What I will be doing is I'll be going around the circle, building up capital, and then deploying that capital into cash flowing assets, primarily rental real estate. So our objective is to get our passive income, which is the income that these real estates are generating, up to $2,870. And just from my experience playing the game, I can tell you that on average, a good real estate property is going to give us about 200, between 200 and $300 in passive income. And so it will take approximately um, three or four, sorry, approximately 15 properties to really get us out of the rat race. And again, the rat race is this segment of the game, and our objective is to build up the passive income such that um, our passive income is more than our total expenses. Again, remember life will happen, and so we will need to go around the circle building up cash to account for those life events. So again, choosing that dream, and we'll just be going around the circle. And of course, the first instance is a family vacation where we have to pay $2,000, but we don't have $2,000, so we will have to take out a loan, which is going to increase our monthly expenses. So we make that payment. And I'll end the turn here and continue around. I'm going to be choosing only small deals for this, but I'm not buying stocks in this strategy because stocks is not, under this strategy, stocks is not my expertise. So I'm going to pass on all of the stock deals, and um, only when I'm able to pursue a real estate transaction will I actually take on a deal. So small deal, this is stock again, I'm passing on that. This strategy, admittedly, is a bit longer than the capital gains strategy. This is a certificate of deposit, but this costs a lot and it only returns, what's this, 0.5% at $20. So we're not going for that. Small deals again. Okay. So here is a great deal that's being offered to us. It says that a company bought, transferred, managed a three-bedroom, two-bathroom house. It has no current tenant and has been on the market for 6 months, and its price has been reduced. It produces cash flow of $250, and we only have to put down $2,000 to buy. So I'm actually going to purchase this deal um, because it's going to add to our passive income. So if I click buy here and then look at our financial statements, you can see where we now have the house on our asset side. It also has a mortgage on the liability side. But most importantly, it is providing us with passive income of $250. So I'll end the turn. And basically what we're going to be doing is just repeating that once we're able to. So here is another property. We'd have to put down 4,000 for this, and it will only cash flow $140. So I'm going to pass on this because again, I'm not really looking to get into a property that's going to really put me underwater. So small, again, I'm passing on the stock deals. Rolling. So now we have a new baby that increases our expenses by $240. We have a flex buyer, but we don't have any assets to sell to them. So if we did have a fourplex or a eightplex, for example, then this opportunity would have allowed us to sell each of them for $25,000 per unit. All right, I'm going to end this turn. Continuing, again, I'm passing on all stock opportunities. I'm going to donate here. And again, the donation allows me to throw two die, two dice, or one die. So I can, well, two die or one dice. I can choose. And you have to be strategic about when you choose to use the two versus one. So because I'm here, I'm going to choose one because if I choose one and I hit the maximum, which is 6, then I'll avoid the possibility of getting another baby. So I go with one die. I end up with an expense. I'm going to go with two die here. Again, I'm going to go with two. And you can see that my cash position has increased significantly. So I'm now up to $10,000. I'm going to see if there is any small deals. So here is a condo. It requires me to put down $5,000, but I'm only getting $160 in cash flow. I think there are better deals available, so I'm actually going to pass on this one. Perhaps later on I can come back and look at this deal as a possibility. This is a stock deal, so I'm passing on that. And again, the strategy here basically is for me to just go around the circle, keep looking for small deals that I can put money down on to increase my passive income. So here is another great deal. So here I can again put down $2,000 and I'm cash flowing $2,200. So this is a no-brainer for this strategy. So I buy that one. Then I go here, you can see where my passive income has gone up now to $470. And I have these two 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes as assets. Naturally, they also have the corresponding liabilities. Because my cash is over $10,000, I can actually look at big deals as well. Um, well, never mind that no, because no, we have a situation where we're downsized. And when you're downsized, what happens is that you have to pay a full your full expenses, and you're also skipping two turns if you were playing with others. So that would have been one of my turns skip and another. Again, small opportunity. I'm not buying stocks. For those who are forward seeing or forward thinking, you'll realize that perhaps the best strategy for this is really one wherein you're using like a hybrid strategy. So using everything that you would have learned coming from the past masterclass, as well as the um the session that we would have done on asset classes. And that's why I would have done the asset class module before introducing this. Another child. This is a stock, so I'm passing on this. All right, so this is a normal, this would be a normal condo sale. So this is a great deal, but it's a good enough return. So you're putting down $5,000 and you're getting $220 every payday. So that's going to add to this passive income, bringing us to $690. And so if I go here, you can see that now our passive income is 690, and we would have added another condo for $40,000. I'm going to attempt to look at a big deal to see if there is anything there. Okay, so this is a fourplex. It would give us $2,000, and we'd have to put down $32,000. So you can see the type of money that you would have to put down to pursue big deals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of pursue a dual strategy now, where I'm looking to build up my cash, but also if I get any remarkable opportunities, those are the ones that I'm going to take on. I don't want to say that you don't have to um, pursue this deal, because you could, in fact, purchase this, but you would need to take out a loan for what's the difference here? About $20,000, right? Or rather $21,000. So if I were to do that, I would have to pay, I'd add $2,000 to my expenses, because that's typically the down payment on the loan, which would effectively net off against this 2,000 in cash flow. So that wouldn't make much sense. So for that reason, I'm going to pass on this deal. And we have a third child. Um, Fortunately, three is the maximum amount of children that you can accumulate in this game. So we won't be having any additional children. All right. So again, small deals. Again, I'm skipping on the stocks for this strategy, and we're just continuing around. As you can imagine, this kind of takes some time. And that would be the case in real life as well. If you were pursuing a strategy of really building up cash reserves such that you could purchase real estate, it would take you some time to do that. So naturally, this strategy is one that really takes a longer time, both in the game and in real life. And that's another one of the reasons why I actually like this game. It's because it kind of mimics the true investment universe of real life. So for this deal, it says that there is a house that you can put down $0 for, but it's going to cost you $100 every month. This one is kind of up in the air because if you wanted to sell back the property, you could do that if a unique opportunity to do that presented itself. But because I'm pursuing a cash flow strategy, I'm going to pass on this deal because even though I'm getting it for free, effectively, it's going to cost me $100 every month, which is detracting from my goal, which is to get up to that $3,790. So again, small deal. This is a stock, so we're passing on that. Small deal again. This is a mutual fund, but it's not a cash flowing mutual fund, so I'm going to pass on it as well. This would be a loan, can pass on that. This is another loan, so we're passing on that, and that's actually a bad loan. This is a preferred stock. It is it is a cash flowing asset, so it gives you $10 in cash flow, but you're paying $1,200. So that's less than 1% that you're getting in terms of the cash flow. That's a bad return for me, so I'm going to pass on this. Right. So this is one of the issues that you'll encounter when you have real estate. So it says that the tenant damages your property. So the tenant refuses to pay rent after losing their job. And when you get him evicted, you discover significant damage to your property. Insurance covers most of the damage, but you are still out of pocket $1,000. So you have to pay $1,000 for every real estate that you own. So in my case, I have three. So that's going to cost me $3,000. All right, I'm continuing. Well, it only cost me one for the condo, I think. Um, don't have any stock, so I'm unaffected by stock splits. I am passing on the stocks again. And for this one, because I have over $20,000, I'm going to pursue a big deal. All right. So here I can get $400 for by putting down $20,000. This is actually not such a great deal when you consider that I've paid $2,000 on properties. I've paid down $2,000 and gotten $220. So for that reason, I am going to pass on this opportunity. I can spend the $20,000 in a better way, basically, is what I'm saying. But you only know that by playing the game and seeing what kind of opportunities come up for you. So here's a reverse of that card that we saw where we had put down where we would put down $0 and it would cost us $100 per month. In this case, we're putting down zero, but we're getting $100. So this would be something that would happen if, for example, you got seller financing on a property. So for this one, we can buy that. This is a stock, and whilst
Mm,
it is
quick
attractive,
question.
sure.
For the one that you just bought, it said the cost is $50,000. Is it a case that you take out a loan or how does that work?
No, so that is a mortgage on the property, but you would get something like seller financing, which would
Yeah.
basically, if you've heard Robert Kiyosaki talk about no money down deals, or Grant Cardone talk about no money down deals. That's one
Yeah.
of the situations where you can actually acquire real estate without having to put down any money. It's through seller finance.
Oh.
So you still have the mortgage on the property, but you
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to put any money down. And how this game is designed and pretty much how real estate works is if it is cash flowing positive, it means that
Yeah.
you're getting a sum or some money is being provided to you even after the mortgage payment and the expenses associated with the property have been accounted for.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. This is a bad deal to me. Again, you'd be putting down $3,000 only to get $100. I mean, I could just buy everything if because my sole goal is to increase the passive income and I have the cash. But I think it might be better for me to continue building up the cash reserves and then pursue a a big deal, for example. And hopefully I get an opportunity to show you an example of that. No. Okay. Wow. Okay, so this is a 60 unit apartment complex. You would be putting down $200,000 and you'd be cash flowing $11,000. So this is something that we could do if we had the money. I mean, we could take out a loan for $180,000, but then we would have to um we'd have to account for the fact that we'd need to pay $18,000 for that loan. And for that reason, we have to pass on this deal.
But is it a good deal or just a medium deal? Because it kind of looks bad to me.
It's bad in this case because we don't have the $200,000. If we had the $200,000, then it would be good. Again, all right, so here's another example of what I consider a bad deal. So you're putting down $20,000 and your cash flow is $500. But already we've seen deals where we put down $2,000 and get $200. So that's a
Mhm.
much better return than this. And so because of that, I'm not going to buy a property like this, where I have to put down this large sum of money only to get $500 in passive income.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going back to small deals now. Certificate of deposit, $4,000 down, $20 in cash flow. That's not a good return for me. Basically, what I'll be doing from now on is up until the point where I have, say, anywhere between 30 and $50,000, I'll only be selecting small deals and hoping to get those unique opportunities on real estate. Again, I'm avoiding all the stock opportunities. I could have been out of the rat race a long time ago, but it's because I'm choosing to pursue this strategy, right? So here's another terrible deal. You are putting down $5,000 to lose $1,000 per month. And these are real instances, by the way. This does happen. So um the the adage or the common wisdom that you can't lose on real estate, I think most people here would know that that's not always true. This is a gold coin. So we'd have talked about bullion um asset in the asset classes module. So basically, bullion is gold, silver, platinum coins primary. They are not cash flowing assets, and typically you really only benefit off them if the price of gold goes up, or if you find a collector that is looking for that specific asset. So it's not very liquid, and that's something that we would have talked about. Passing on that as well. And let me try again for another big deal. This one is $40,000. I have 33,985. I would get $950, but I would need a loan for about um 6,000 $6,100 basically. And that would require me to pay $600. So even if I do decide to utilize debt and pursue that strategy, I would still be netting um
350.
$300. Right. So for that reason, I'm actually going to take the chance on this one and I'm going to purchase this. So it's going to tell me that I need a loan of $7,000 and $700 is so they're giving me 7,000. I can't choose. So I have to take this. I'd have to take the 7,000 and I'd have $700 as a monthly payment. But my net cash flow would be $250. So,
Mhm.
as well as I have the opportunity to sell the duplex if I continue to pursue bigger deals. So, because the net is positive, I'm going to actually do that. All right. So, this one is 40,000. So, I'm going to
So I'm
purchase
going to
this.
purchase.
All right. So, if I now go to my financial statement, you can see where my passive income has increased by that 200 um $220 net and is now $1,740. Um, I do, however, have a new liability, which is that loan, which would have gone up by $7,000 to now $9,000. Again, because my strategy is not focused on debt reduction. Okay, so now I'm taking on a new boat and I would need credit for that. Take out a loan of $1,000 with a monthly payment of $100. I've never actually tried to click no on this. So seemingly I don't have a choice because that's a life happens moment. So now I have to use a credit for that. Tenant fails to pay rent for 2 months. Again, this is a problem with real estate. Insurance covers most of the damage and the cost, but you are still out of pocket $500. So you have to pay $500 if you own any rental property. Small. I know I'm going to skip whatever deal this is just because of my cash position. This is a stock split, but I'm not affected because I don't have any stocks. So let's continue. We're basically passing on deals for now because we're focusing on building up our cash reserves. So small, but again, I'm passing. I'm at the maximum amount of children. That's good. Small deal, passing on that one as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to go around this and I want to build my cash up to about $10,000 and then pursue again small deals. So regardless of the opportunity that is presented, I am going to pass on it. Well, this one, I don't really get much benefit from this one because I've already reached a maximum amount of children, which is really what I use that for. I basically use it to try and skip that. I basically use it to try and skip that card. So here's a unique opportunity that's being presented. So I'm now being offered 100,000 for every 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom rental properties that I have. So if I sell them, what will happen is that I will pay off the mortgage associated with those properties. In this case, you look at my assets. So I have two assets that fit that criteria. So one is for 45,000 and one is for 35,000. If I sell the two of them, I will sell each of them for 100,000 and then I will net off the $90,000 that is a mortgage for each. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one and I'm going to sell it. And the reason why I'm selling it is because it's going to allow me to pursue um, big deals. So I'm going to sell these small properties, this one as well. And you'll notice that my passive income starts to go down. But look at what is happening to my cash. So I'm selling all of my 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom houses, giving up the cash flow that's associated with them. And then what I'm going to do with that cash is I'm going to now purchase basically other condos or fourplexes. And that should take me out of the rat race. So now when I roll and I'm pursuing opportunities, what I'm going to be going for is big deals. And this is a bad one. It's $20,000 for $800 in cash flow. It could work. This could work because um, this is basically like having two, well, three, four, sorry. It's basically like having four of the $5,000 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom houses. So this one actually makes sense. So I'm going to purchase this one. I'm going to pass on the donation. Again, going for big deals. Here, I can put down $32,000 and I'll get $1,700 in cash flow. That also makes sense. So I'm purchasing that and look how close I am now to basically getting out of the rat race. My passive income is $3,670 and I'm aiming to get to 4,930. There's another way I could actually get to the 4,930. It would be by basically clearing off my debts. So I can add $1,700 to this by clearing off this liability, the boat loan. And then I can add another 1,000 by clearing off the retail loan. Sorry, this loan, the second loan here for $10,000. If I am to clear that, then it will free up $1,000 from my expenses, which is this one. So those are two options that I could pursue in terms of reducing the total expenses. Again, that is not the strategy here. We will talk about it when we'll talk about that strategy when we look at the debt, using debt as leverage strategy. So now I have a flex buyer that wants to buy these properties. I am not going to pursue this though because I'm trying to get out of the rat race. So I'll close that and I'll pursue another deal. This one is for $40,000. That does it. So now I am out of the rat race and onto the fast track. So my passive income has exceeded my total expenses. And I would have achieved that without clearing off any of my debts or any of my using basically reducing my debt load. So now we go on to the fast track, and the objective on the fast track is to do one of two things. Either um build up your passive income to 587,000, or to purchase my dream, which in this case is to basically land on this style and have enough money to purchase it. So I'm going to pass there. I can donate. I'm actually going to donate here. And in this case, I'm going to choose, let me see, I'll choose, where's divorce? This card is divorce, so I want to avoid it. So I'm going to go 3 die. So I'm going to purchase this for 75,000. Gain 0 cash flow. Let's go 3 die again. And so I can only purchase my dream. So if I land on any of the other purple cards, I will not be able to purchase them. So again, I have to pass on this, but you notice every time I go over one of the cash flow cards, then I'll get paid. And so my cash will start to go up. So now I have $1.747 million. And my objective really is to try to land on this. So I can go 2 die and I end up skipping over it. Let's go with 3 again. Pass on that. I'll go 3 again. Do I want to go 3? No, I'll go 1 this time. 1 again. And so now I've gotten a lawsuit that takes away half of my cash. Going with 1. I can buy this. Going with 1 again. I end up skipping my goal. Go with 3. Now I get audited, again lose half of the cash. So rich people problems. Let's go 3. Let's go 3. Let's pass on that. Let's go 2. Passing that, let's go 1. And let's go 1. 3. So I'm aiming to do one of two things here. Either to purchase my goal, which is to fund the kids stock market game, or to get my income up to $587,000. And I'm at 575,500. So in either case, it's likely that I will win the game. So it's just a matter of what I choose to purchase at this point. I'm going to pass on this. I can purchase that. And I've won the game. So that's basically the strategy. Of course, the strategy really only matters. For the most part, it matters whilst you're in the rat race. Because once you get onto the fast track, there are very few things that can happen that will push you back down into the rat race. Of course, it is still possible for you to go bankrupt though. So that is something to be mindful of. But that's a strategy, guys. There are two more strategies for me to cover. But I'll probably try to do both of those. Do I want to say next week? I'll just check my calendar to see if I have time to go through both of those next week. So, any questions?